Hello and thanks for joining us for another edition of Brass Reflections from Cambridge Citadel Band. In this instalment we feature yet another stunning festival series composition, this time from the pen of bandmaster Richard Phillips. Published by the Army in 2004, Metamorphosis was written for the Household Troops Band and their tour of America and Canada back in 2002. Bringing her thoughts around the music in this edition is one of our trombone players, Jan, who is also our community centre manager here at the Salvation Army. As you can well imagine, Jan has been an integral part of our church's community response team during the current pandemic.
Good evening and welcome. For 16 years until my retirement in 2015, I had the amazing privilege of being the band secretary and later the colour sergeant of the Household Troops Band. How proud I felt carrying the Army colours all over the world. Being part of this wonderful group enabled me to visit many places worldwide which I wouldn't have otherwise been able to see. It enabled me to meet lots of lovely people whom I have been able to call friends and stay in touch with. It also gave me enormous pleasure observing people listening to the band and receiving the Christian message, some encountering the Christian message for the first time. Others, through our visits, returning to the church after a period away, and an even greater privilege witnessing change in people being brought into the knowledge of the love of God for themselves through the witness of the band. Music stirs many emotions. It gives joy, it brings memories, and it provides us with times of reflection. It challenges us and maybe even kindles the desire to make some changes in our life. All these attributes can be found in the piece of music I have chosen for our brass reflections this evening. A piece of music that hasn't been played by too many bands, maybe because it is quite technically difficult to play, but nevertheless has such a powerful message. The piece is Metamorphosis by Richard Phillips. The word metamorphosis means a complete change of physical form or substance, a transformation. The roots of this composition are found in Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 11, where it says, "He has made everything beautiful in his time." This text is also the words of a chorus by Diane Ball, and the music to this chorus is prevalent throughout the piece. The last verse says, in your time, you make all things beautiful in your time. Lord, my life to you I bring. May each song I have to sing be to you a lovely thing in your time." The opening bars immediately brings our attention to these words. This eventually leads to a climatic moment when the first theme is heard. You will hear this as an angry passage. It resembles those ugly areas of our world where there is conflict and hurt. It may also portray someone who is not at peace with himself or the Lord. Following this, you hear the gentle pulsating waves of the central theme again, but this time in its entirety. As the angular and pointed passage returns, we are reminded that it is in God's time and not ours that things are made beautiful. Next, listen out for a series of cadenzas. These bring to my mind a picture of a caterpillar and the transformation process as it journeys into a chrysalis, then a further progressive change into a most beautiful butterfly. Richard, in his notes, says the cadenza passages is introduced to remove any predictability from the metre of the music as to when this time might be. When the time is right and the metamorphosis has taken place, the beautiful theme is presented, first as a cornet solo and then taken up by the euphonium. Incidentally, at the time this composition was written, this was just a beautiful melody, but in the last few years and with the composition of the choral symphonies written for the staff songsters, the following words are associated with the melody, written by Stephen Pearson. From Calvary, where true love was shown, Christ calls to me, I am not alone. For all time and for each day, his love is all I need to walk in his way. The music now continues in a celebratory mood and features a song that speaks about Jesus Christ the Lord being in every part of our world. Who is this who rides in triumph on the worldwide battlefield, at whose word the host of Satan will one day be forced to yield? When the motives of the sinful one at last will be revealed, it is Jesus Christ the Lord. The piece then concludes with the return of the beautiful theme in a grandioso style. I hope that you will sit back and enjoy this beautiful piece of music, Metamorphosis by Richard Phillips.
Metamorphosis was composed for the Household Troops Band visit to the USA and Canada in May 2002. With a 17-day overseas tour planned, Richard Phillips was asked to write a big piece for the occasion. Much of this music was written as a reflection of the composer's own personal situation and predicament he found himself in at the time in 2001, and so part of the healing process for him was found through his composition. He says he will be forever grateful to Major John Mott for asking him to compose this. The visit to the USA and presentation of this piece also came a few months after the Twin Towers were tragically brought down in New York. Emotions were raw with disbelief that anything like this could have happened. The loss of so many innocent lives and injuries sustained. We experienced during the tour a numbness at the whole situation. Many emotions were evoked and released during the presentation of this music, both within the band and those who listened. An experience that will never leave me. It almost seemed to be the start of the healing process for many, having the assurance that despite devastation, unrest, war, inner conflicts and all the nasty, ugly things that come our way, God remains faithful, can bring about change in people's lives and will triumph over all the world. God will make all things beautiful in His time. Hallelujah.